On January 17th, 2025, while I was still in Portland, Oregon, I recorded this time capsule-esque video where I addressed some of my main concerns before moving to New York City. And in this video, I'm gonna address them all a year later. Sorry in advance for the time capsule audio. It's ancient technology after all. AKA, I was filming in an empty apartment. A little bit different than where I'm at right now. With that said, the first concern on the list was actually, will I find an apartment in New York City?
Our plan that's currently in motion right now is to sublet an apartment in Harlem for about a month or so. Maybe we'll need to extend our stay in Harlem. Maybe we'll need to sublet a new location. I'm honestly not sure.
Yes, that was me 12 months ago. I've definitely been through the ringer since then. The context behind the apartment concern, if it isn't obvious, is that I had a little less than a month to find an apartment to actually live in, since I was only subletting for a month in Harlem. And I didn't realize how unfamiliar I was with the New York City real estate market. Take it from this vlog footage I shot. All right, so back in Harlem, I just wanted to keep you guys posted on what's going on. I was in Hell's Kitchen earlier today looking at an open house. Loved it, but if any of you watching eventually want to move to New York, be wary on Street Easy or Listings Project or whatever avenue you use to make sure that there are no broker fees, because the Hell's Kitchen location has a broker fee of 12% of the annual rent. Very simple math. It pretty much puts down how much one would be paying upon signing the contract, up to 5 figures. So without a broker fee though, it's just, you know, middle 4 figures. I'll save the details for another video, but I did end up finding a place to live in Brooklyn. I've even filmed like 8 videos in one of the community rooms back in May. So we never did need to extend our stay in Harlem or sublet in a new location. That said, I think at the time of recording the time capsule, knowing what I knew, which was not a lot, it was a pretty valid concern to have. But now that I'm on the flip side a whole calendar year later and have a better understanding of the New York City real estate apartment market a bit more, I'm probably not gonna worry about it as much once it's time to move places again, especially with actually being in the city now, which was a huge contributor to this concern when I was trying to understand what pre-war meant when looking for New York City apartments while I was still back in Portland. Anyways, the next concern I was able to salvage from the time capsule: will I ever feel established in New York City?
Watching this video, I hope that I'll be somewhat established or at least nested in New York City. Even if that just means I've memorized my way to work without GPS, or know where the local cafes, grocery stores, and pizza joints are, and or have my own couch in my own living room. I don't even know what to expect from New York City because I've never even been there, believe it or not.
Okay, I'll be the first to admit, some of these concerns are ridiculous. I figured out how to get to work without a GPS less than a month in, and I of course have my own couch. Although I acknowledge it's not always an easy thing to acquire. That all said, I do know my local cafe and pizza spot, both of which are a stone's throw away, and I love them both. As far as grocers, I don't live by a Whole Foods or anything like that, but I do have 3 other nearby options, and I utilize them all for various reasons, not to mention all the bodegas. But yeah, all that aside, I'd say I'm feeling pretty established after all this time here. I have somewhat of a routine and a solid amount of experiences behind me. I've filmed several videos since being here, like I said, even when I was living in Harlem. I know the neighborhoods, I know the spots. I even have a barbershop that I frequent now. I have happy and sad memories here. I'd say I'm feeling pretty established and pretty nested for now. I'm at the stage where I don't mind staying in on the weekend in a city that's quite literally known for never sleeping. And for the record, I said the exact opposite in this other video I filmed also back in February. Living here now and still feeling like a tourist, I still have this weird feeling of FOMO. Like I should be out exploring every single day. Now that's what I would call growth. Also, I had to put my gloves on since it's literally below freezing right now. Anyways, as easy as all of this might sound in hindsight, you can see how one might be concerned that they might not have the capacity to find a sense of normalcy so easily, especially in such a different place.
We on stream, yeah, what's up, baby? Yeah, we outside square. We the break dance joint, though. We here. Live and direct. Here we go.
Hey, thanks, bro. I appreciate that. That wasn't planned, by the way. Anyways, what I was trying to say is, even if it did end up being kind of easy in hindsight. Now, the next file in the time capsule focuses on the reason I'm in New York City to begin with. Will work go well in New York City?
This is of course assuming everything goes well in the city and with my new job. By the time time you're watching this, I'll have hopefully also hit my 1-year mark at Morning Brew.
If it isn't obvious from any of these videos on the screen right now, I have very specific views about 9 to 5 employment. So I think my main concern here were that the stakes were very high. You know, uprooting my entire life and moving across the country for a job in this market where you never know what could happen. It can give you cold feet. And kind of a fun fact, during my interview process, I actually spoke with Alex Lieberman, who co-founded Morning Brew. And I actually told him this exact concern. And I remember he told me something along the lines of, you'd be a crazy person if you didn't have cold feet before moving across the country, or something like that. And the last thing related to work is that I did in fact hit my 1-year mark already, which is a pretty good indicator on how things are going. Now, the next and last thing we're going to discuss is New York City's cost of living.
Which of course is something I'm also thinking about. Where I'm at currently in Portland, my rent before utilities and parking is just over $1,700. What's annoying is that I'm now making the most amount of money I've ever made from a career position. And yet my reward for that is having to move to one of the most expensive cities in the world, effectively lowering the value of my dollar.
Of course, this topic/concern was the last bit of data I was able to scrape from the time capsule. Okay, so I don't mind straight up telling you the amount I pay for my studio in Brooklyn is $2,600. Of course, when you include internet, electricity, and all that, it of course ends up being more, but I'm saving all that information for another video. And whenever people ask me about any sort of lifestyle changes compared to Portland, when it comes to the value of my dollar, I'd say it's pretty similar to how it was in Portland, to be honest. I still go out and eat out constantly. I get drinks with friends somewhat regularly, if 1 to 3 times a month is considered somewhat regularly. The cost of living against what I make hasn't affected my way of life, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Of course, in this day and age, being concerned about the price of anything is totally valid, let alone moving to what I'm pretty sure is considered the most expensive city in the world to live in. Actually, it's in the top 7, according to this 2024 report. I just wanted that last section to end on a really cool sounding line. Now, before we actually wrap up, there's a couple of housekeeping things since this is the last video of the year. Number 1, after I watched that time capsule footage for the first time, I realized most of the footage I recorded was just me worrying about the future. And sometimes the concerns were irrational, like the GPS thing. Take from that what you will. Number 2, like I said earlier, this is the last video of the year. The last video of 2025, which is actually crazy. I started this channel in 2021, and 2026 is literally right around the corner. And whether this is the first video you've seen from me, or you've been around since the beginning, or something in between, I just want to say thank you for spending your valuable time being here. Hopefully you're being entertained and learning something in the process, which is always my goal with these videos. I know I always say this, but there's some really good stuff coming up on this channel. I'm really excited for the 2026 catalog of videos. Now, in lieu of a cinematic montage to officially round out the year, if you know, you know, coming up is a documentary-style epilogue highlighting what was happening in real time in pop culture and the news in January 2025, specific to the United States. Taken verbatim from the original script of this video, which was originally called the Time Capsule video. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you next year.
How's it going, guys? Some of you may be wondering what the time capsule video means. And those of you even more invested in the channel may be wondering what I'm doing in my old apartment. Well, this is actually past Tariq on camera right now, and I officially moved to New York City in 8 days now. The purpose of this video is to share my scattered thoughts on how this year might go, and to see which predictions hold up and which ones don't even come close. By the time you're watching this, I'll have spent almost a year in New York City, which is really crazy to think about from my current perspective.
Fuck, that was a mission. It's literally 2:01 a.m. right now.